The Singing Soldier. In a small coastal village, where the night waves whispered ancient histories, lived an old woman named Lena. Her cottage draped in moss stood near the shore. Lena was famous not for wealth, but for her comforting stews, seasoned only with salt gathered from the sea itself. One foggy morning, as Lena searched the wet sand for the purest grains of sea salt, she saw something peculiar. Half buried, catching the dull light, was a small, clear glass jar. It was vibrating gently, as if taking soft, silent breaths. Intrigued, Lena carried the strange object home. It was cool to the touch. When she finally set the jar down on her hearth and lifted the cork stopper, a sound unlike any she had ever heard drifted out. The salt jar sang. Its voice was deep and warm, weaving tales of mighty storms, the silent depths, and the joy of travelers returning home. Anyone who heard the song felt a sudden, profound warmth. Grief was soothed, and spirits were instantly lifted. Soon, news of the singing salt jar traveled beyond the cottage. Villagers came, young and old, to sit quietly and simply listen. The jar seemed to know the burdens carried by human hearts, translating sorrow and hope into perfect, harmonious music. But the whispers also reached the ears of Silas, a merchant known for his greedy heart and sharp ledger. Silas craved fame and power, and he decided this magical jar would make him the most celebrated man in the world. Silas watched, waited until the village slept, and crept into Lena's empty house. He snatched the singing jar, stuffing it into a heavy burlap sack. He fled toward the capital city, imagining the crowds who would pay fortunes just to hear its wonder. In the great, cold city, Silas set up a grand display. Listen to the wonder. He boasted to but when he removed the cork, the sweet song was gone. Instead of sweet harmony, the jar wailed. It cried a sound that was raw and bitter, like corrosive sea brine, echoing the pain of being stolen and imprisoned by a heart full of greed. The noise was unbearable, sharp, and cutting. The buyers recoiled. No one could stand the sound of such desperate anguish. Terrified by the jar's refusal to sing for him, and tormented by its cries, Silas finally accepted his defeat. He rushed back to the humble coast. Lena took the jar gently, placing it back on her familiar hearth. She did not scold the merchant. She simply listened. After a moment of silence, the jar began to sing again, the sweet, comforting notes that only true sincerity could unlock. People still came to Lena's cottage, not to buy or own, but to share the gift of the song, alongside Lena's simple soup and bread. They learned that the most precious things, joy, comfort, and kindness, are never meant to be possessed, but only truly thrive when they are freely shared.